You know what's funny? Donald Trump is a reality TV star and a scammer. And half this country voted for him rather than the candidate who was actually qualified to be president. And then, since he's a scammer, which is part of the reason why those same people that voted for him rated him at 34% at the end of his last presidency, right? After 4 years of Trump, they realized how much he sucked. And then 4 years later, they forgot somehow. And then what is the scammer doing? Scamming, of course. So his big thing was, oh, I'm going to secure the borders. And people are like, Democrats aren't taking it seriously and they're taking our jobs, blah. But remember, he's a reality TV star. So what does he do when he wins the presidency? He puts on a reality TV show. He has all these people all over the country, these ICE raids, and it's all over Fox News, 24/7 ICE raids. Oh, it's cleaning things up. Of course, all the gullible people who voted for this scammer, no critical thinking or curiosity. One of the key strategies that Donald Trump uses that he's very effective with is taking advantage of the emotions of his base. He gets his base really riled up, and they get caught up in all the secure the border and just taking the jobs or whatever. And then once he's in office, it's not very difficult at all to fool these people, right? They see all this stuff on TV. Almost none of them are thinking, what am I actually seeing here? There's no thought process of, well, there had to have been ICE raids before Trump won because ICE was a thing when Biden was president. So the only relevance of these video clips would be if there's something different happening. Simply showing raids doesn't mean anything, right? Because again, they would have been raids under Biden, raids under Obama. Piers Morgan would tell you Obama was the deporter in chief, deported more people than any other president. But yet the millionaires are going around talking about open borders. And then you have regular Americans, poor working class Americans walking around repeating the words of millionaires talking about open borders, talking about the Democratic Party that loves to do deportations. But here's the reality. Joe Biden was deporting far more people than Trump is deporting. But Joe Biden's not a reality TV star, so he wasn't putting on a show. He didn't have Dr. Phil going around and all over the news and all this spectacle. He was just getting it done, right? Being a professional. So you're not aware of what was going on unless you dig into it. But Trump, the reality show, is putting on a show, right? And he can get away with it because almost nobody that voted for him is going to have any curiosity whatsoever to understand what exactly is happening. They're not going to look into what was happening before Trump won and what happened after Trump won. So this is why I keep telling people, at the end of the 4 years of Trump, a lot of his base are going to feel like those were the best 4 years. Doesn't matter how bad things get. I would even include World War III. I'm not exaggerating either. Obviously, the war itself would not be considered good times, but they would focus on the parts of his term that we weren't at war, right? Just like with COVID, right? Or let's omit COVID and focus on the good old days of, $0 per gallon gas. Doesn't really matter what he does. The economy can crash. We could have a depression. Doesn't matter. All he's got to do is get out Dr. Phil and, have some videos of some people getting round up, and his base is going to be like, yes, that's what real leadership looks like. And of course, they're going to have help of the entire right-wing media. All the right-wing media savages. I mean, some of the most disgusting people in this country are the right-wing media influencers. They have no integrity whatsoever. For the next 4 years, they're going to be pretending as if Donald Trump is this and is this and we're back. If he does something bad, they're going to downplay it. They're going to hand wave it away. They're going to keep the entire Trump base in a matrix, It's kind of the perfect scam. You demonize mainstream media, so you cut them off. This is like cult stuff. Cut them off from any source of information that would expose what you're doing, right? Because if mainstream media says you're doing some kind of scam, they're not going to listen to it. Oh, it's fake news, right? That's a perfect scam. And then if the only sources they're listening to are all telling them things are great and Trump is wonderful and it's not that bad and it's just the Democrats, right? Then that means you're invincible. It doesn't matter what he does, how good things are, how bad things are. His base is going to feel like things are awesome. Of course, left-wing media is going to focus on the exceptions to the rule. There's going to be some people who recognize that they were scammed. They're going to recognize how bad things get. But overall, the masses are going to be in their little bubble. Mass deportations. And the other thing that's perfect about his scam is about him joking around and saying all kinds of crazy things. So he's invincible in terms of being held accountable because, he says he's going to deport 2 million people. That's not going to happen. But his base will say, well, he didn't literally mean 2 million. He's a salesman. That's just how he talks. So it doesn't matter what he says. Nothing you can say and be like, but he said this and blah, because it's just like, he says all these crazy things. He's hyperbolic. So unlike everybody else, right? Like if I say to my subscribers that I'm going to be posting a video every Wednesday and then I just don't do it, people are going to be like, hey man, you made a promise and you broke it. But Trump, he can say whatever he wants. Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Then they don't pay for the wall. So he says, he's going to bring the prices down. We're going to bring prices down. And he gets in office, the prices go up. And it's just it's not going to matter, man. They asked him, what was his plan before he won? What's your plan to bring down prices? didn't really have any answer, just saying fake stuff. Drill, baby, drill. And people like, yeah. And, you know, the reason why he wouldn't be able to explain how he's going to bring prices down would be because he doesn't have a plan to bring it down. He doesn't know how to do it, which would be evidenced by the fact that he certainly has time to pardon a bunch of people who beat police officers, which is going to lead to more police officers getting attacked. But he ain't got no time to talk about prices because it was all a scam. He's a scammer. He's a reality TV star. That's what half the country voted for. They voted for somebody who's unqualified to be president, who's going to put on a show for the next 4 years. And unfortunately, the rest of us are going to be along for the ride. We didn't choose this. We didn't want this. But the other half of the country has put us on the Titanic. And as the ship goes down, they're going to be smiling and laughing and enjoying the music being played by the band on the deck while the rest of us are screaming and running and trying to get to the raft. It's funny, but it's not.